Hi, this is Scott from the Living History School, and today I want to talk to you about making a survival garden. Basically, pioneers and Indians had to rely on growing staples to survive until the next growing season. And what I mean about staples is that you need to grow things that are going to sustain you, that are high in protein and calories, that are going to last till the next year. And there are basically four things you need to grow. First is potatoes. Potatoes are basically what the Irish have survived for hundreds of years on. You can survive basically on nothing like growing potatoes. What's good about potatoes is you can grow them in soil that's not very good, and you can use basic gardening tools to grow them. So for instance, just a hoe and a shovel, you can turn your neighbor's lawn into a potato patch if you had to. And of course, so potatoes are the first one, and then corn, beans, and squash. Corn, beans, and squash were grown by the Hopi Indians for thousands of years, along with other tribes. Basically, they called them the Three Sisters. See, when you plant corn in a mound, you can plant beans and squash right next to them. What happens is the beans give back nutrients to the soil that the corn likes, and they also can grow up the corn stalk. And then the squash plants will provide the leaf cover in order for to keep the moisture into the soil. So pioneers knew all the different techniques for growing in their particular area. So you need to research what types of corn, beans, and squash and potatoes are good for your area. These are the types of the gardens that are going to help you survive the tough times. We're not talking about the gardens that are going to help you, during the easy times when you have irrigation, when you can, plant things like lettuce and tomatoes and cucumbers. So those are not the things that are going to help you survive through a catastrophe where you lose, you have the loss of power, or you have the loss of fuels and things like that. So these are the type of crops that I'm going to talk about in the future in some upcoming videos. So we're going to go into depth in the four basic staples that you need to grow in your garden. Basically are potatoes, corn, beans, and squash. With these four things, you can survive basically anywhere. So if you're not growing these things in your garden, and you're not growing the heirloom type, you need to start right now learning how to grow these in a small area of your garden. You can still grow the tomatoes and carrots and cucumbers, but you need to start growing staples. Not just growing them, you need to learn how to save the seeds, and you need to learn how to dry the squash, and you need to how to store the potatoes so it's going to last you through the next year. So it's a whole cycle, a whole process, not just going out there and harvesting them and eating them, but you need to learn how to save the seeds and preserve the food to last you through the next year. So if you're growing tomatoes and carrots and lettuce and little basically salad gardens, that's not going to help you survive a real catastrophe. Those are not the things that are going to, if for some instance you're drawn away, somebody's sick in your family, and you have to go tend to them, you can't sit there and water a garden like that every day. Well, the thing about what's great about corn, beans, and squash is they can go some days without being watered and not tended to, and they'll survive. So you need to sit down and figure out what types of crops the pioneers and the Indians used in your particular area. So I hope this information is useful. You will tune into our survival garden series. Thanks.